everybody. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Beth Caesar, and I am the principal of Leman Virtual Academy. We have two of our kindergarten teachers also joining us today, so I'm going to introduce them to you. We have Miss Nunez, who just waved, and Miss Smith, who is also here with us today. And you'll hear from them in a few minutes. So here at Leman Virtual Academy, we believe in our mission statement, which is to offer a rigorous classical education based on the traditions of Western culture where all disciplines are interrelated, allowing scholars the ability to think independently and critically. We purpose to partner with supportive parents, pursue excellence, provide a safe and challenging environment, and instill morals and values in order to produce tomorrow's leaders today. Our founder here at Leman Academy is Dr. Kevin Leman. He is an internationally known psychologist, radio personality. He's been on television, and he's an educator, a speaker. He's written over 60 books on parenting, marriage, and family living. And he's been a practicing psychologist for over 40 years. And we have some examples of some of the books that you may be familiar with on our screen. Have a New Kid by Friday, The Home Court Advantage, The Birth Order book, First Time Mom. So he has a lot of expertise in family life, children, and all of those things that go in together to make us who we are. So here at Leman Academy, we believe we have the Trivium as our curriculum, which is classically based. We begin with the grammar stage, and then it moves into the logic stage and the rhetoric stage. And we'll explain that a little bit more in the upcoming slides. Our curriculum is very challenging and rigorous. And for example, we are 1 year advanced in math. We use classical literature, and it is classical in nature, meaning all courses are interrelated. The interdisciplinary framework is based on the historical timeline, and it is Socratic discovery based, and it is authentic learning. So for example, when you're learning about science, you may go on a nature walk, write down the sounds that you hear, and you may talk about those sounds in music. The goals of Leman Academy is to produce critical thinkers who are aware of others and are lifelong learners. The 3 stages of learning, as we talked about earlier, is the grammar stage, and that's our kindergarten through 3rd grade, where our scholars are excited about learning and they're memorizing facts, grammar rules, recitations. Then they move into the logic stage, is when they start asking why. They're connecting those facts and ideas together, and they're really diving deeper into those concepts. And then in our 7th and 8th grade, they're actually having a lot of Socratic-based discussions. They're really developing their critical thinking skills, and they're comparing history today to history in the past, and really building on those values and virtues and trying to understand the why. And again, like we said, all disciplines are interrelated. So you're going to be talking about art and music within your science class or your history class. We believe that learning is all interrelated. Our curriculum is based on the history timeline, and up here you can see some of the history that we study. So in 1st and 5th grade, both those grades study the Egypt, ancient times, the ancient civilizations in China and India, Greek culture, and the rise of the Roman Empire. The medieval times is our 2nd and 6th grade. 3rd grade and 7th grade is early modern times, and then our 4th and 8th grade study modern times. Kindergarten looks a little different, so whenever our teachers start talking about the curriculum, they'll give you a little bit of an overview of what they do in history. And again, here's the Trivium stages to give you a little bit of an idea of what that means. To give you a little bit more with what's going on in the grammar stage is when they're just really starting to get those facts, understanding, and connecting knowledge, and there is a little bit of frustration as they're starting to memorize those facts. And then in the logic stage, they're starting to ask a lot of questions, but they're becoming more self-disciplined. And then in the rhetoric stage is when they're really starting to be able to argue their points. There's a lot of performance-based learning and just lecturing, and they might take some time to teach each other and expressing their opinions. So what sets us apart at Leman Academy? We do have safe at-home learning. It is classical education based. We have in-person and online enrichment activities. We do have some flexibility within the week. We believe relationships are very important, so your scholar will be developing a relationship with their teacher as well as their classmates. We have a success coach who will be coming on board and will be helping with navigating Schoology and just helping us to make sure that we understand how to get assignments turned in. We believe in virtues and values and how that should be the center of all learning. And some of those virtues and values include caring, citizenship, perseverance, respect, responsibility, and trustworthiness. We do offer synchronous instruction, which is when you're online with your teacher. The scholar logs in 3 days a week for live whole group instruction for about 30 minutes with his or her teacher. Each live meeting for the week will cover a different subject. Monday is language arts, Tuesday is math, Wednesday is history, and the parent is asked to sit with his or her child during that small group instruction so you can see what the teacher is teaching. Small groups are also provided in the afternoons, and that allows the scholars time to receive more individualized instruction. And those take place about 1 or 2 times a week. And our teachers also offer scholar hours, which is a time when you can log in to meet with the teacher about questions regarding assignments, or that might be a time when your scholar can receive some additional support that's offered daily. So our online instruction is face-to-face, kind of like what we're doing right now. It is direct, interactive, and then again, we talked about scholar hours and individual conferencing, as well as weekly grade level classes in those core content areas. So right now I'm going to pause and I'm going to let Ms. Smith talk a little bit about what she does in her class, and then I'm going to let Ms. Nunez also talk a little. And I don't know, I think they might have something planned, so I'm going to let them take over. So I'll stop sharing for just a moment. Do you guys have something you need to share a screen, or are you just going to talk? Okay. All right, I'm going to pause and let you guys have a.
So in kindergarten, we use Journey's curriculum, and it's scripted, so it pretty much will tell you exactly what you're going to say to your scholar. You'll have different textbooks that the student will read, and then you'll also have a lot of digital resources. So usually reading lessons might take you anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, and you'll do that with your scholar and on top of meeting with us once a week for reading. Math, we use Saxon curriculum. So like Beth mentioned, it is accelerated. So we're doing first grade math. And the great thing about the curriculum is that it spirals. So concepts that they do or that they learn at the beginning of the year, they'll repeat and they'll review throughout the rest of the year. So if they don't get it right away, it's okay. They're going to get lots of practice. But you can expect with math to take about a half hour to an hour every day. You'll do a math meeting. You'll talk about the weather, patterns, counting, shapes, the date, different things like that. And that will be part of your daily routine. And then you'll have a worksheet that has side A and side B. So side A, you'll do together. Side B, hopefully your scholar can complete it independently. And then every 5 to 10 lessons, I'll have an assessment that you'll have the scholar try and complete independently. And then that's what you would submit. History and science is really nice. You have a lot of freedom in how you choose for your scholar to learn about the topic. So we'll give you the topic for the month. We'll give you a bunch of resources and some specifics on the assignment, and you'll just have the month to explore the concept and have fun with it. You can do experiments, you can do projects, you can do videos. So there's lots of ways that you can have them demonstrate their learning. The other part of ELA I forgot to mention is recitations, which we really love. So each month they'll have a poem that they'll memorize. So you'll practice this 5 to 10 minutes a day at home with your scholar. Maybe you say a line and have them repeat it after you until they have the entire poem memorized. And the goal is by the end of the month that they can They can state the whole recitation, including the title and the author. And the goal is that it's building their public speaking skills. So when they're in the older grades, they will present the recitation in front of their peers and just portray confidence and, really build those public speaking skills with some quality literature from the poems that we're memorizing. But in kindergarten, we talk a lot about the language, different images that come to their head, and we just practice memorizing. And in kindergarten, they upload a video of themselves doing their recitation, and then we grade it. So a lot of them are still very camera shy. So we're working on building their confidence in our meetings, and then you'll support that as well at home. Is there anything else I'm forgetting with curriculum, Angela? No? Okay. I'll hand it over to you then.
Hi, everybody. So I am Miss Nunez. I am also the kindergarten teacher with Miss Smith as well. I also do first grade. So I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on kindergarten readiness, right? Kind of like what we're looking for, what we're going to touch on as they go through our curriculum. So one of the first ones is that Scholar can recognize most letters, identify most letter names and sounds, count to 100, identify colors, identify shapes, identify the months of the year, identify days of the week, and identify the weather. So these are kind of things that we're prepping the kindergartners to engage with, and some can come in with. A lot of for me with how I run my lessons is like I'm very hands-on, because I feel in a virtual setting, especially with kinders, hands-on is a very intricate part of like running a smooth virtual lesson. I think, like Joelle was saying, a lot of the advancements in math, and a little bit of like the touch and coming back and forth with the ELA, and so a lot of it for with the virtual teaching, and like I said, it's just focusing on like where they're at, and taking and getting them further than where they're at, and also doing a lot of hands-on learning. A lot of there's a lot of as Ms. Smith was saying, a lot of flexibility in terms of like the history assignments, and so forth. This is my first year teaching, and it's just been such a really great experience. I look forward to seeing some of you in classrooms, and obviously if there's any further questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. It's a very beautiful curriculum, and that's all I got, guys. Thank you and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just saw one of our second grade teacher is actually here. So I'm going to let her just wave and introduce herself. Even though this is Kindergarten Roundup, it's good to see some of the other staff members here with us today. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Devady, and I just wanted to check out and see what Kinder looks like. It's always exciting to see LVA represent, so I wanted to support Miss Smith and Miss Nunez, of course, and just see what it's all about. It's amazing how much Kinder sets the tone for first grade, and first grade sets the tone for second grade, and second grade and fifth grade are really, to me, what I see as milestones, where if you don't get it at a certain point, like kinder, if you don't have those letters solid and you don't have those months and those days and those weeks and 1 to 100 solid at kinder, first grade is such a challenge. And so first grade is really learning literacy, learning basic math steps. And without that kinder knowledge, it's really, really difficult to traverse that river. And then second grade, of course, we have the milestones of getting all of that math up to date and that reading up to date. And then, of course, it goes on and on and on. And fifth grade is where they're trying to figure out if they're adults or not. So there's all those interesting changes before middle school. So yes, I'm just here to support everyone and kind of see what LVA looks like in kinder. And it's wonderful to be here. I apologize. I thought it was tomorrow, so I just ran in quickly. So thank you so much.
So thank you for joining us, Ms. Davidi. I'm going to continue on. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free to stop. Or if you want to wait till the end, you can type them in the chat and we'll address those as well. So another part that the teachers did allude to is what we call asynchronous instruction. Asynchronous means the teacher's not online with you at the moment and you're able to pace yourself throughout the week to get those assignments completed. It doesn't mean you don't have teacher support. It's just that you're able to schedule when those are going to be done. So if your scholar works best in the morning, then you can work on those in the morning. If your scholar is more of a lunchtime scholar, then they can work on them after lunch and get them completed. So it's more of a self-paced part. And here, these are some of those assignments that are included in that asynchronous instruction. That includes SACS and math, and the teachers do type out instructions and they give you instructions of what to do. The journey lessons, and again, you have directions, so you're not just going cold. The handwriting, science and history projects, which they have that month to complete. And then they also include videos and websites to explore, as well as sight word practice and spelling. This just gives you a little bit of information about this Saxon curriculum, which we've already addressed. We are accelerated by 1 year, and it does spiral. So there's constant review throughout the year of those concepts. And then in English language arts in kindergarten, we do use the Journeys curriculum, as they also alluded to. And we also do have some read alouds that are on our website that the parents are encouraged to read with their scholars throughout the year. We do provide resources. They are our print and digital resources that you receive. In kindergarten, you get a lot of great resources. You get a box full of manipulatives, and they're able to use their clocks to tell time, and they're able to put blocks and stacks of 10 and count by tens to 100. So there's all kinds of great little manipulatives, as we call them, that they get to practice their math. They also do get their Journeys books. They get a hardbound book, and they do have access to it online, but in kindergarten, we know that it's real important that they have that textbook that they're able to flip the pages. So we want to make sure we do provide that as well. And they also get their Saxon math book. And we use the Schoology platform, which is the platform where the lessons are posted and your assignments are posted for the week. And that's also where the grades are posted. So when the teachers grade an assignment, you get your feedback live. So as soon as they post it, you're able to see that the teacher did receive it, and then when they graded it. And I'm going to let Mr. Hessbridge talk a little bit about Schoology.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so Schoology is our learning management system, and I'm going to present so you can see what your scholar is going to see when they so when your scholar logs in, your scholar is going to see a screen like this, and there's going to be announcements from their teacher, and also the announcements will be from the class that the teacher is announcing it from. So it might be Miss Smith and it's math class, and then don't forget to look at Saxon lesson 23 today, and they can put videos, or they can put attachments right here in the announcements, so the scholars don't forget what to do. The courses are kind of set up where you can just click on this little course button and see the courses and go into a course. And let me see here. I'll just show you our orientation class because it's what you'll see. But most of the classes will have some welcome information and then assignments for the class. The scholar also can look at their grades and their grade report right here. And my screen is just thinking a little bit. And they can go into each class and see a breakdown of their grades. Also, how they navigate around. They can also go to other resources. This little box with squares is how you navigate to other things like how to get to your live meet, how to get to your Gmail. Even when we have our map testing, they can get to the map testing here. How you log attendance minutes for your scholar. You can click on this link and it will take you to a spot where you can go in for your attendance minutes and click in there. And so this little drop-down menu is pretty helpful to navigate around everything in Schoology. Any questions? That's just a real quick overview. I'll let Beth proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hessbridge. So this is just giving you kind of an overview of the way the folders are laid out. Obviously for kindergarten, it'll look a little different, but just so you can get an idea that you'll have your assignments in order for about 5 days. And if you find that you're finished with the first day's assignment and your scholar wants to continue to day 2, you could go to day 2. You just need to go in order of the way the teacher gave the assignment. And we do have some scholars that their families have decided that they're going to do a 4-day school week and they get everything done before Friday. And if that works for you, absolutely, that's part of the flexibility within the program. And it's very doable in kindergarten to do that. You just are going to have to work a little bit longer through each day in order to get those assignments done. But it is very nice that it's laid out in order that you need to do it. And if you want to do more than one assignment in a day, absolutely, you're able to do that. And as Mr. Hessbridge alluded to, every scholar does get a Gmail account. It's very important, especially with your scholars being in kindergarten, that you actually are checking the email. That is a way that the families and the teacher communicate regularly, especially because we're virtual. They're not able to see you in the hallway when you're dropping off your scholar or in the car line. So this is their way of communicating with you. So all of the information that they have, they'll send to these email accounts, and it's just going to be a good habit to make sure you're checking your email account as well as your scholar's email account. With partnering with parents, we do believe that the parents have the ultimate responsibility for the education of their children. We serve as an extension of the home, partnering with parents and serving families in the intellectual, social, and emotional and ethical development of the children. We do believe parental support is essential to the success of educating young people with a classical approach to education. The teachers, administration, and parents all must work together. So we're a team in order to develop your scholar's education. And it does we want to make sure that we are supporting you, but we have to work together. And we also need the scholar to kind of do their part too, or it just doesn't work the way that we really need it to. So for the parents' role, we do ask that you're making sure that your scholar is working to complete all assignments within that week. It's real important because the lessons do build on one another. So if they don't do the lessons for 1 week, the next week it's kind of difficult because they missed out on a whole week of instruction. We do also ask, because they're in kindergarten, if you're able to help them log into their Google Meets. Eventually it gets easier and they're able to do it on their own, but at first they're going to struggle a little bit with knowing what to click on and how to open up the window. And also just assisting them with logging into Schoology and completing the assignments that are posted. We also ask, whenever the teachers do give websites, that you're able to help navigate those websites with them. And of course, until they're able to get a good grasp on reading, they're going to need you to help read the directions to them on some of the things, because they're not able to do all of that on their own yet. And also, when it comes to uploading assignments into Schoology, they will need help. At this age, in kindergarten, you're sort of a co-facilitator of the learning. You and the teacher are going to work together a lot in order to make sure that they're successful, and your scholar will need your assistance with most of the assignments and activities. There's going to be some that they might be able to do if you could say you need to work on this and you could walk away and come back, but they're going to need your help a lot at this age. Ms. Smith and Ms. Nunez, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think you're spot on. It is a lot on the parent. Parents are expected to upload, I think, all of the assignments All of our scholars need support with that. And just, we really appreciate parents sitting in with meetings and supporting their scholar to make sure that they're accountable for what we're doing. So that is a huge help. And now that we're using other programs like Nearpod in our lessons, it's really helpful if we have that parental support to help, navigate different online resources that we're using. But we're so grateful. I know we couldn't do it without you. This, all of the growth that the scholars are having is because the parents are there putting in their time each day teaching their scholar. And so it's neat for the parent to get to see all of the aha moments and to see your scholar learn to read, so you can feel good about all of the hard work you're putting in. We're very grateful for all of your support, and we really enjoy partnering with you. But it is a lot of work on the parents. So, and we know that, and we're just very grateful for your willingness to help.
Yeah, I will just add in as well, like the parent-teacher collaboration and partnership is it's so much stronger when you're in virtual, right? Because I think one of the Leman's philosophies, right, is that parent-teacher connection. And I think with virtual, like, we're so able to do that, because that, like, essentially it takes a village, right? And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that we get to do is to really truly, like, experience that parent-teacher collaboration and just that openness, and so yeah, like Joelle said, parent it's so valued and needed, and also I truly agree too, like the growth that we see within the scholars, like we're just an extension, you know what I mean, and being able to be part of that promotion of their learning is a great thing. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. So here at Leman, we do offer art and music, and you're able to participate in a structured art and music class once a week. The art does have an emphasis on art appreciation and through the timeline, and music has an emphasis on music appreciation and certain elements of music that are going to be taught. And that's also based on the timeline in history. Some enrichments that we do offer or plan to offer next year, because next year is going to be a little bit more normal than it was this year. We will continue to have our virtual clubs, an art club, science club. We do have a student council, a Lego club, book clubs, cooking clubs, some on-campus clubs that are available to your scholar. Will depend on the nearest campus to you. Your scholar is available to participate in any after-school clubs or sports at their nearest campus, or even if it's not your nearest campus. If you live in Marana, but there's something going on at the Oro Valley campus that you would like for your scholar to participate in, you are able to do that as a virtual scholar. So a typical school week, scholars are assigned work on a week-to-week basis, and that is uploaded in Schoology. They have that full week to complete assignments. In kindergarten, it's going to be different for the history and the science. They give you that month to explore that topic. Scholars are required to log in 3 times a week in kindergarten for live interactive lessons with their teacher and classmates. We believe that that live interaction is vital for that relationship piece, so they know their teacher's a live person. They know they still have classmates, and you'd be surprised how much they really develop that relationship very quickly. They write letters to them and send them emails, and they just fall in love with their teachers online, and they get to know each other online too, and they interact with each other. As far as the scholars go, they like to log in early and talk. Scholars will need to work with the expected number of hours per week to meet the state requirements. So in kindergarten, the minimum number of hours that's expected by the state in order to have be compliant is 10 hours a week. So that's about 2 hours a day of work. But obviously you may go over that depending on what you choose to do to help with the enrichment of your scholar. And if you choose to do more in one day, you may do less another day. So that's just an average. So a sample schedule in kindergarten, the life classes is about 30 minutes each, and they're 3 days a week. The scholars have about 2 hours of work to do each day in Schoology in addition to their live class instruction. And we do ask that our scholars have that high level of integrity, that they're completing coursework, that they attend the live meetings with the teacher, and they submit and complete their weekly minutes. And that's the way we tell attendance, is by every day your scholar or you in kindergarten will have to submit how many minutes they spent working in school. And it's very simple. It's an app on Parent View. You just download the app and you could put in how many minutes you worked each day. So one question that we get sometimes is, does Leman support IEPs and 504 plans? The answer is we are a public charter school, so we have to follow all the rules and regulations of any other public school. So we do honor all 504s and IEPs. In the virtual setting, it sometimes looks different. For example, if you have frequent bathroom breaks, well, you're able to do that at home. You don't really need Ms. Smith or Ms. Nunez to allow that. So that might not be something that's part of a 504 plan. In the virtual setting, that's just something that you're able to do at home. But absolutely, we do honor those and we adjust them to the virtual setting. We do have a full special education department as well that works with our exceptional scholars, and they also meet with them virtually. And the team of teachers and parents meet to determine the scholars' needs in a virtual setting as well. So we constantly we go back and look at the IEP if we need to make it where it works in a virtual setting, or adjust a 504 plan as needed. So what hardware do we need? At a minimum, we ask that you have a Chromebook or a tablet. A phone just isn't going to be quite as robust as you need in order to complete all of your assignments in Schoology. And we also ask that you have a web camera. It's real important because the teacher wants to see you and you want to see the teacher, and so that you can have that connection with each other. And also a microphone so that your scholar's able to speak to the teacher. And a scanner or a smartphone with a scanning app is going to be important, as well as a printer. There is a supply list on our website. We will update it for the 2021-2022 school year, and everyone will get a copy of this, and it'll also be updated on the website probably by July at the latest. And then we do have a reading list as well. These are some optional read aloud books in kindergarten that we recommend you reading with your scholar. And the last thing is how to enroll. So if you are not enrolled, you can go to the Leman Academy website. And I'm going to, and then right here where it says enrollment, there's Arizona schools. You have to click on Arizona schools, and then you would click on the green button that says enrollment for 2021-2022 school year. And when you click on that, it'll take you to where you would need to create an account, and you would just go through there, and it gives you step-by-step directions of what to do. And this is just a little bit of information about me. I've been in education for 22 years, and I do have a master's in leadership and curriculum and instruction. So I've been working, I was an ESOL teacher, a second grade teacher, fourth grade teacher. I've taught several different grades. So lots of experience in education. I love education. This is definitely my place in the world. And so with that, if you have any questions for either the teacher or Mr. Hessbridge or myself, feel free to ask.
So we have a program called Rise Kids. I'm assuming that we'll still have this next year. And we can set your scholar up with an account, and it will have reading at their level, which is nice. So they'll have access to hundreds of texts within their level, so they can find something interesting that way. And then within our reading curriculum, we also have resources for scholars that are above grade level, so they can be reading those as well.
Thank you. And then they also do small groups as well based on where you are. So if we have several scholars that are reading an advanced text, then that would be a small group, and they're really good at pushing you to the next level. Any other questions?
You may have already covered this, but are the classes typically in the morning, the afternoon, or are there different times?
So typically we have morning classrooms or morning live lessons, and then the small groups are usually, for me, I have morning live lessons, and then small groups are in mid-afternoon. So for example, right now my live lessons are at 9 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, 9:30. And then I have live lessons at 12 o'clock. So typically morning, afternoon.
One of the things we did not cover is we know that a lot of families like their Fridays off, so they teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in kindergarten. So that's when the live lessons are, and those are the only days that it's required that you log in with the teacher. Of course, the teacher's available, and you're able to log in with them for Scholar Hour throughout the week, but those mandatory, the 30-minute sessions, one's Monday, one's Tuesday, one's Wednesday. Well, if no one has questions, thank you so much for coming. We're going to hang around for a few minutes in case someone wants to just stand back for a moment and ask a question that's more individualized. But we'd like to thank everyone for coming today. We're excited to see so many families coming to us next year for kindergarten. This is very exciting. And we can't wait to see your scholar next year on camera with our teachers. And hopefully in person some too, if that's something you choose to do.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Angela and Joelle, for coming today. I really appreciate you being here. And thank you, Jessie, for coming just to support us.
Yes, thank you. That was nice.
I think the rest of it is us. So thank you all. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your week.
Much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.